Hey guys, good afternoon. Today we are talking a little bit about something that we had discussed in class today, Thursday, August 22nd. We started looking at the book a little bit, and here in the beginning of the book, right after the table of contents, they have this wonderful little section that demonstrates all of the places around the world that speak Spanish. And so we got through a few of them in class today, so I thought I would make a really quick video and show you what we discussed, a little bit about what we discussed. So of course Mexico, which as you can see here, directly below the United States, Los Estados Unidos, is actually a part of North America along with the United States and Canada. So Canada being up there, then the U.S. and Mexico, North America. Today in class we talked about various people who have been down there. A lot of our students have been down there on cruises. They've been there for the day, for the afternoon, and one or two students have actually flown in or driven in and spent considerable time there. We've had the gamut of experience from our students today. So you have over here the Pacific side, and if you take a Pacific cruise, then maybe you would land in Acapulco. And if you're taking a Caribbean cruise, then you might land in Veracruz, or you might land over here on the Yucatan Peninsula, La Península de Yucatán. So there are a variety of ways to come in on cruise ships, etc. Coming back over here, as you see right there, we begin Central America just below North America, just below Mexico. We'll go to the next screen here. We have America Central, you have Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama are the 6 countries in Central America. And if we look a little bit closer here at this map, you can see that there is one country that is officially part of Central America, but it is not highlighted here like the rest because they do not speak Spanish. They were colonized by the British, so they speak English, they drive on the left side of the road, etc. That is not a country of focus for our year in Spanish, for our 2 years in Spanish. But instead we have Guatemala, and then we have El Salvador here, one of the smallest, Honduras. Honduras has a humongous Gulf Coast line, but a very tiny Pacific coastline. They have a little gulf right here. Then we have Nicaragua, and then underneath that Costa Rica, and then Panama. And in class today we talked about the Panama Canal. We also discussed how awesome it would be to be able to take a trip with the family or with a friend to Costa Rica. They have a humongous environmental protection program. They're trying to be have a zero a zero carbon footprint very, very shortly. They obliterated their military back, I believe, in 49, and they banned zoos, I believe, several years ago. They do have sanctuaries for animals, such as Sloth Sanctuary, etc., which are not really zoos. And also you have a very nice Gulf beach line and Pacific Coast beach line where you can practically be on one beach in the morning and drive across the country. It's pretty narrow to be on the other beach in the evening. They have a lot of physical activities such as zip lining in the tropical rainforest and kayaking up in the volcanic reservoirs up in the mountains, whitewater rafting, hiking in the tropical rainforest, horseback riding on the beach or in the forest. Quite a few activities that are family friendly, physically oriented, really a great travel destination. Many of them speak English very well, especially tourism English, and they would be a very comfortable country to visit. So that would be Central America. Then next we come down to the Caribbean, and in the Caribbean they have here, I'm going to go over first to the map and you see here, of course you see Florida, and then below that would be Cuba, which is an independent island, an independent country. And the reason that Jamaica is light is kind of light is because they are not a Spanish-speaking country. They also speak British English or English. And then the Bahamas up here, and then over here, the island that is called Hispaniola is half or a little bit more the Dominican Republic, and then the other half is Haiti. The other side is Haiti, which speaks French Creole. They are two independent nations sharing an island. And then over here you have Puerto Rico, which is not an independent nation. It is a territory of the United States. And they vote ever so often on whether or not they want to become a full-fledged state or become independent or remain as a territory. And so far they've voted every time to remain as a territory. And so as far as what we got through today, we did get to South America here, but in several classes it was too brief really to say that we got there. But I just wanted to show you that the photo that they used in the background here is of Machu Picchu from Peru. And here in the map, you see you have Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru, and then Venezuela and Bolivia are the countries that are in South America up in the northern portion. From the north all the way to the halfway mark would be these 5 countries. And if we zoom in just a little bit here, no, that's good. So Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and Bolivia, with the purple being the mountain range of the Andes Mountains. And of course, Machu Picchu is in the Andes Mountains. Why are these 3 countries up here not even mentioned? They don't even have a name on them. Brazil has a name. In Brazil, they speak Portuguese. They speak a Brazilian dialect of Portuguese. These 3 countries, Guyana, French Guiana, and Suriname, are not even given a name up here, but they do not speak Spanish. They are English, Dutch, and French. That's what you have there. And we did not really get to the bottom down here. Maybe in one period we discussed Paraguay being a landlocked country, the only landlocked country in the entire on the entire continent of South America, which would have been a major problem for them before airplanes, because the only way to get in and out with trade, import-export, would be to go through another country, to get permission to go through another country, which would have been a problem economically. But now with airlines, with airplanes, airports, it is, I'm sure, a lot easier for them. But they are not as well off overall as the other countries in South America. And that's pretty much as far as we got today, so I will stop there. And I hope everybody has a good afternoon. And also don't forget, if you're watching this before Tuesday's quiz, to be sure that you're ready for Tuesdays. Watch the other 2 episodes before this one in order to prep for Tuesday's very first test in here. Okay, everybody have a great evening, and we'll talk to you soon. Hasta luego.